Our guest today is Tom Beal, the president of Stretegic Profits. I do hope that you know what Stretegic Profits, and if not, you're gonna really find out something very, very interesting. I mean, it's actually through Stretegic Profits and the incredible content that they have on the internet that I've really managed to get my business going very to a complete new level a few years ago. So I think, first thing, let me just welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ernesto. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Yep.
So just for the people that possibly have never heard,
sure,
which it would be strange, but let's say they have never heard of Stretegic Profits, can you tell them what you guys are doing?
Sure. Stretegic Profits is known most from Rich Schefren. Rich Schefren is known as the guru to the gurus, and if you're in the internet marketing space, you've probably heard of people like Mike Filsaime, Frank Kern, Joel Comm, Yannick Silver, the list goes on and on. Most all the gurus that we're well aware of have gone through Stretegic Profits training and coaching by Rich Schefren. So we have been fortunate to have made such an impact and dramatically increased all those people's name plus thousands more of business results, and it's just awesome to have that type of impact, and look forward to sharing more information about that today.
Yeah, it is incredible. I think now it's good that we tell them what the Stretegic Profit does, because I think it's just, I mean, the vast amount of resources and information that you guys have is just incredible, and I think everybody that is watching this show should definitely check them out, because it can really have a tremendous impact on your business. I mean, my point is always to try to bring the best resources of the internet to the audience, and I think it's really a pleasure to have you guys, because of course Stretegic Profits has created such an impact on the internet.
Right.
So it is amazing. So if you can tell them a little bit of what you guys are doing.
Sure. Well, right now we have a tremendous training webinar. It's a presentation that Rich put together that, like you mentioned, a lot of the things that we put out there, even our free reports, are probably better than some $9.97 courses. That's the value that we have in the internet marketing, the business manifesto, for instance. That's where you'll see the U diagram. But the free reports and all that fun stuff is found online with over 1 million downloads of the manifesto.
Wow.
And right now, the webinar, the training that Rich does, the great part about it is you invest about 2 hours of your time, and this could totally give you a whole new vision on what you're doing and how you're doing and how to take your results to that next level. Yeah. It's really kind of like the Matrix. Once you see what Rich explains, in only a manner that really he can do, it kind of clicks for you. And kind of like the Matrix, once you see it, you can't go back. Yeah. So, you know, when I first was exposed to it back in 2005, that was the same time Mike Filsaime and Joel Comm and Yannick and everybody was exposed to it. It catapulted us to tremendous results. And the webinar itself, you can find, it's a free training, and Ernesto will share a URL that they can go check that out.
Yeah, I think it will be really cool to share two resources. First of all, let's share the manifesto, because we're talking about the manifesto. For us, it's really one very important document. So I think it's a good idea if you actually go to this domain, which is just appearing now on the screen. There you can actually get to download the manifesto for free, which you're going to really benefit from. And then in a moment we'll let them go to the webinar.
Perfect.
What you were saying is very right. I mean, I think most of the people which want to make it online are unconsciously ignorant. That means that they do not know that Correct. They do not know. And the way that I will explain very easily, the way that what you guys are doing is you're actually creating conscious ignorance, which basically means that people suddenly realize that they do not know.
Yes.
But that's just one part of the whole thing, because also you take it further, and then you really help business develop tremendously. You're associated with big brands, with big marketers. Right. Can you tell us some of the names that you are already working with right now?
Agora Publishing, $600 to $700 million company right now. Michael Masterson has a famous name. Mark Ford is his real name. Michael Masterson is his pen name. Rich and I are friends and have cigars with him on a regular basis. And he used to own Early to Rise, and now he's doing his own thing with a financial newsletter. Rich has spoken for Microsoft, Yahoo, many huge names that we're all well aware of. But it's fun to have some client, and then there's some private clients that it's confidential, but
yeah,
it's
I wouldn't ask
right. But it's fun to work with these people doing amazing things. You know, one of the things that, like you said, going from that unconscious competence to conscious incompetence is a big shift. Then it's transferring it to that from conscious incompetence to conscious competence.
Exactly.
And that's each of
the
those
next level.
are great steps along the way. The one thing that I'd like to bring up about the manifesto, which you're going to be sharing, and I think you'll find it probably just as transformational as the 1 million+ people that have gone through it, is this U diagram. And Ernesto, you probably remember the U diagram.
Absolutely.
And Rich has a background where he had several offline businesses that had great success, to $7-8 million range in a clothing industry, in having one of the largest hypnotherapy franchises in the country of the United States. And so he had that offline success, and when he got online, he had some difficulties like many of us do and become frustrated.
Yeah.
And what he realized from one of his friends actually saying, well, Rich, you're trying to do everything. And this U diagram that you'll see in the manifesto may relate to you at one point in your progress, and it may relate to where you are right now. Basically, the U diagram is you in the middle trying to do the tasks that it would be difficult for 20 people to accomplish. So what Rich
Let
did...
alone you yourself.
Exactly, right. So that would be like Rich when he had the clothing store, to be running the cash register, to be stocking the shelves, to be ordering, running every aspect of the business with only one person. And we all know that's not a good recipe for success.
Absolutely.
But similarly, that's not a great recipe for online success, but many of us just get caught in that trap, and we're unconsciously, we're not even aware that we're in this trap. Exactly. Until you get that transition, you're like, wow, this is insane. No wonder I'm frustrated. No wonder I'm overwhelmed. No wonder I'm not getting those results that I see everyone else getting. You know, it's that everyone else is doing it, what's wrong with me mentality. And just some of those, that's one example of many that shift you from being that frustrated, overwhelmed entrepreneur online to putting systems and processes in place that will help you build your business properly.
The absolute key of it all.
Yes.
So it's just great. Fantastic. So that's the manifesto. So let's just get everybody salivating for the webinar.
Perfect.
They're going to go get it. What are they going to learn on the webinar?
All right. Back to the unconscious incompetence. You aren't even aware. Many of my great friends who are already earning millions of dollars sometimes aren't even aware of this particular thing. One thing you're going to learn is a concept that Rich coined years ago, and pretty much is the bread and butter of what we do, is we help struggling, frustrated opportunity seekers become strategic, successful entrepreneurs.
Very cool.
Now here's the difference, the bright shiny object syndrome. I've been victim to that, and I know most everybody online has done it. Wow, if only I had that, then everything will change, and you buy this and you buy that. Next thing you know, you have a whole bookshelf of things and a whole terabyte of data on a drive, and it's basically just adding more to the overwhelm and frustration, the shiny object syndrome. Once you become that strategic entrepreneur, you are able to make choices and say, wow, that's a great product for someone who is working on that specific area. But for me, it would probably be a distraction. Maybe down the road it will be a fit, but right now I'm going to stay focused on what I am up to. You're focused on your sweet spot. So, and that's one of the other keys you're going to learn in the webinar. What is your sweet spot, and how can you be so confident that you can turn down those bright shiny objects and those products that will be great for someone that need help in that sweet spot, but right now that would be a deterrent from getting you to where you want to go. And there's nothing better than resting easy, knowing that, hey, that looks good, but not for me right now, and sleeping like a baby and not having to worry about break out the wallet and get that unneeded product just because it's the new happening thing in the marketplace.
Exactly.
So there's a huge transition from being that opportunity seeker to being that strategic entrepreneur. And once that button is made, I guess the parallel that could be summarized is basically it's like going from an alcoholic to a non-drinker. So and we see this. I mean, it's that big of a transition, right? Yeah. Because it's still tempting to want to go spend and get that new shiny object because it just looks so cool, and you'll get it and you probably will never use it. Yeah. We've all been there. But once you can confidently make those choices and not be driven by just some opportunity-seeking drive inside, but more of a strategic process, you'll change your life and your business results.
Perfect. So there you go. I think it's really good that you go and get the manifesto, which is totally free.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
right?
Free download. Yep.
And also watching the webinars for free. Here you will be able to get the webinar. And once again, I repeat. So this is the webinar, and now this one over here. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the manifesto. Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
This pretty much wraps it up for today. This is Ernesto Verdugo, and once again, this is amazing websites television, the show where intelligent people like you can find the tools to change the rules. See you next week. Bye-bye.